Thanks, thanks everyone for joining us. I'd like to introduce Unobhala Wetu William Litwaba. He'll be starting the session. So thank you very much. And everyone who's live streaming, watching it today or in time later, thank you. And to all the secretariat who's available. Thanks, Nopal.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Secretary. And I would like to welcome all our members around South Africa, across all our 9 provinces, from Limpopo to Cape Town, from Eastern Cape to KZN, all the members who are tuning live, and those who are with us in spirit as well. This is a PBICT live program where we'll be discussing challenges within the ICT industry, challenges within our respective provinces. On the panel, there's a roundtable discussion. I have all the secretaries across all the provinces, and those secretaries, will be talking about their challenges within the respective provinces that are involved in. Those challenges actually where the SMMEs, the professionals, the youth of this country, are going through. As we know, we are, in the COVID pandemic platform. Today we are not in peace because of numerous things, and COVID is one of those. So, be with us until 7 p.m. And you can ask questions. We have ordinary members, as well, who will be asking questions as well. And you can also participate, through our YouTube streaming channel. Let's keep the discussion going. Let's talk. The theme of today is actually saying that let's talk more. Sorry, let's do more. More action and.
Since March last year, we've been dealing with this whole COVID issue. We have managed to find a way to maneuver around the whole pandemic. We do have certain issues that we have on the table right now. I think if you remember, sometime this week we ran a program with the partnership through Microsoft and MICT CETA, where basically they're doing a lot of focus on 4IR training and things like that. So the one part that we're looking at right now as a province is to start looking at, I think as we discussed in that program also, was the unemployment rate. To actually say, I think at this point from what you mentioned also is that it's sitting at 36%. Last year, March, when we went into the COVID, it was at 29%. So we are looking for ways to actually combat that. And then as part of that, we said, okay, for example, since we have students, we have the student chapter desk that's actually available as part of the organization. Let's actually reach out and see if we can find out which students studied ICT. They are either looking for industrial exposure or they are looking for employment. And then now the idea, based on the event we had with Microsoft, is to figure out how we can onboard them so that they can start looking at being able to do the fundamental training in, for example, cloud computing, because that on its own, it opens up many doors. So there's a program that we've now put together to try and get a list of students that we can then approach the Microsoft Corporate Affairs to see how they can assist us in onboarding them and trying to get them to do at least the basic certification. And by the way, so even those who are not youth who find themselves unemployed, the Microsoft has made provisions for those who are unable, for example, to pay the full fee, because it's quite costly. It's a couple of $100s. So if you're unemployed, you are looking, for example, to maybe look into cloud technology and stuff like that and get the relevant certification, which can also assist you in terms of the job market. You can actually do an affidavit, what you call a reduced cost. I think from the presentation, from what I saw, it's about $15. But I'm sure we can negotiate it and find the way that you're actually able to even pay less, but you are able then to start looking at getting certification. That is the one issue that we currently have that we're actually looking at actively. The other one, it started off, I think it's about, it's an ongoing issue. It's about a month old now. So recently, CETA had published what you call the this thing is called the RFB 740 transversal contract. This basically allows companies to be able to be part of the transversal contract, and then they're able basically to sell equipment and for different OEMs and be able to do so that we can get an attorney firm to represent us in this case. And that process has since started. Now it seems like so our lawyers were able, our lawyers were able to contact the SETA people, and then that process is ongoing. Now we are trying to raise additional funds, try and see if we can take the matter to court. That is one issue that's currently pending.
Within SETA as a whole, with the transversal contract, and those challenges, how do you think we should proceed?
Kambache, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So basically, SETA, I mean, if anything, I would say they're anti progress. Like, it's a backward movement, organization. Sorry to actually call it that, because in the times that we live in, if we're saying, for example, we have 36% unemployment, and I mean that means our youth, they're sitting at over 50 or 60% of that 36% is youth. So now you have all these young people who are basically trying to get into business, which government is encouraging, and you're being told that you need to make sure that you comply, that you are you appear on the CSD, and your taxes and everything are actually done, which is what everybody has managed to actually do that. But now, as you try and do business, then you get further red tape through this transversal contract, which it seems like at this point, nobody seems to understand even how they work. At some point, there was a process where we knew they'll advertise it every 2 or 3 years, and then you apply, you get given a chance. But now it seems like even if you do make it, you get rejected outright. Like, you never get anything out of it. So from where I'm sitting, it feels like, if anything, like, this particular establishment, like, SETA itself and the use of transversal contracts, it's actually working against growing the market of black SMEs. Because essentially, when you do get business with government, then they ask you, are you part of the transversal contracts? We can see you comply with everything else. And then when you do ask, how do I get on to transversal, you go to SETA, you try to contact them. Nobody seems to have an idea what the transversal contract is in the first place. And when it does appear every now and then, it seems like they tell you all of a sudden now it's renewed every month or every second month. Literally, this whole process, it's just working against us. I feel like we need to take this further up and figure out exactly who is this built for? Because if it's not built for us, it's working against us. Why don't you open up the whole market so that we can have more people, more businesses playing in that space? Because then this will also improve competition. Because I think the more SMEs you have in playing in that space, government will be getting the best deal, because then they'll be able to get everybody to be pricing, and then they'll pick the best price. And at this point in time now, you have about maybe 10 or 5 companies which are submitting quotes, and then basically government only has to pick from those 5. What if you have 300 or 400 or even 1,000? Now you're opening up the market to everyone, and like I said, there are some people who are on the list who have now been rejected as part of this new list that is now being updated. And their sole business actually requires them to be on the transversal. So they have deals that are actually pending and they can't proceed. So literally you're taking food from people's mouth. It's like, what is this? It does not make sense to me. So this is what my biggest crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing, that crisis that is happening, in those SOEs like SETA. And I'm sure there is many. So that's an opportunity for you in Gauteng to start tackling those members and ensure that, your SMMEs, your youth and your professionals are benefiting from them. So let's go all the way to Limpopo and ask, the situation in Limpopo. Our secretary, provincial secretary in Limpopo, Zumbu, just to share, the challenges that they have, in rural areas. We know that there's connectivity issues. So there's also opportunities as well. We just want to hear from you, provincial secretary. What are the challenges that your SMMEs have in Limpopo, your professionals and youth in general? As you know, we just came back from a youth month. Just take us through that, and if there are any opportunities as well for your members, this is your time also to speak to your members and share, those opportunities. Zumbu from Limpopo. Yeah, technology in Limpopo is it's serious. Comrade Zumbu, can you hear us? No? Okay. So Comrade Zumbu is having connection problems. It's understandable that Limpopo is one of the provinces that will always have this kind of issues, especially connectivity. So let's go to KZN and speak to Comrade Ndumiso, who is the provincial secretary of KwaZulu-Natal. And we want to know, Comrade Ndumiso, KZN is supposed to be progressive in terms of, you're next to the ports and all those things. What are the challenges that the SMMEs are experiencing there? And what are the opportunities, if any, government, private sector, state-owned entities? So just take us through, the opportunities that are available in KwaZulu-Natal and challenges that SMMEs and the youth are experiencing in the moment. Nopal. We can't hear you. Your mic is off. It's off. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Ngibinge mhlangano.
Sawubona.
Hayi siyabonga bonobhala abakhulu. KZN really it has been known that KZN has been leading in a lot of things, and I can see Gauteng you want to overtake us now. As we know that COVID-19 has brought so many challenges in the space of SMMEs, professionals, and people are experiencing retrenchment. Others, their business have been closed down and have resorted to look for alternatives to get income. But at the same time, we see that there are opportunities which are coming through, and the only thing that we need to do is to regroup and able to work as we used to do, because some of the challenges other people didn't have in terms of connectivity, people are struggling since they don't have enough money to fund their businesses, and they find themselves not operating as they used to operate before. But there are businesses that are opening up and which shows some progress in certain areas, and you can see that the rollout of broadband and also the ISPs that are coming up from KZN, it gives us a lot of hope that those that are not employed for skill sharing and able just to tap into the new spaces of the 4IR, and you can see that even the other institutions are actually working hand in hand with other stakeholders in ensuring that small businesses are getting into business and fast tracking and bounce back from the COVID-19 that they have experienced. But steady but surely, we're getting there. In terms of the private sector, we're working very hard in trying to forge those partnerships, working with other stakeholders, which are like incubators, which already want to work with other SMMEs and other professionals. So we are trying just to form a working relationship even with other forums as well, so that collaboration is the key in ensuring that we do these things in a unified manner.
Okay. So you can say that no Bala. However, if I'm an SMME living in Nkandla, for example, or in a rural area, obviously I've challenges already. What must be the role of PBICT and the role of government and the role of private sector to ensure that they bridge that gap, to give a leg up to that SMME?
I believe if they can open up the opportunities for people who are in the rural areas, and especially the municipalities which were targeted by the big companies, and they start to open up for small businesses, that will be the beginnings. Even the schools, the SEO, the state-owned enterprises, because each and every municipality and each and every district, there is a municipal office. Each and every district, there is a service area which a small business can able to access and able to provide services in those areas. I believe if they can even so that they can able to do some work and trust in businesses, I believe that will be a breakthrough for small businesses who are in the rural areas, and also and start to have some boot camps to equip each other for those who have gone before, who have experience in the public sector, and able to equip those who are just starting up in their businesses.
Yeah. Thank you. Absolutely. And we agree. And we agree. As the movement, obviously, we are committed to this struggle. No, Bala, just last. What must the youth do in KwaZulu-Natal?
Saying whatever opportunities that we post on the groups, that they participate in those groups, and if they have any challenges that they may have, they can contact me directly, and I will able to assist and able to find ways and means to ensure that if there are barriers that they are encountering, we ensure that we open those doors, because that's our mandate, that we create access and ownership for them. So if we open those doors and there's no one to enter, and it creates a challenge, because they will ask us that you said youth don't have opportunities, but we have open doors, but no one is taking advantage of the opportunities. So I'm appealing to the youth that they need to take advantage of each and every opportunity. They don't have to know everything, but there are ways and means to equip and to develop those who need some skills, and able to get some mentors and coaches who will able to assist them, and in order for them, whether they are in the private sector.
But today, it doesn't look like that, because I've been hearing a lot of challenges that are coming from Free State. So can you please just take us through and speak
on that topic, man? Just to give you an update, the Free State on the group, on the PBICT group, there was only one company that was that was able to be selected, or that was into that transversal thing. You see, so the rest of the other companies that applied, they just like Ronald said, they all got rejected. So the CETA, it's a hustle on its own. Another day, another story. And then when you come into the youth, there was
Yes.
some communication that was happening onto the group, and I think Voyo was the one that was busy with it, because he was the one that was posting the information and everything.
Yes,
By
sir.
the way, as I told you before, the PEC, we are inactive at the moment, and the what do you call them, the programs and everything, we haven't been able to come to a conclusion and take like your youth and everything. You understand? So everything in the PEC has been quiet, and then when it comes to the membership, like I said, every time you send me some communication, I say the communication to the group, and then if there's someone else out there who
Yeah,
has
yeah.
information,
No,
activate
Morena,
that
let me stop you there. You know, let's be, you know, I'll say let's tackle this bull, because
Yeah.
the elephant in the room here, it's not mainly out there, Free State as a whole. They're wondering if today is the 1st of July. You know, some of them maybe they might have not even received payments from invoices. Some of them didn't even invoice because there's no opportunities.
Yeah.
And you're speaking about CETA transversal. That is one of your challenges that you've been experiencing. And I want to know from yourself as a provincial secretary of KZN, with those kind of challenges that what CETA is doing to you as Free State. What do you think should happen to enable you as a province, and also to ensure that your members benefit from these transversals?
That one is, I'm going to repeat exactly what Ronald said, because I feel like we're having the same issue. The whole South Africa is having the same issue with CETA. I think it's
Yes,
it's really, I'm going to repeat, like I said, I'm going to repeat what he has said. You understand? Because myself and the deputy chair, we did go to CETA. That time when the contract was open, we did go to CETA. We did try to speak to the relevant people that were there. We
Yes,
did
sir.
speak to them, but it's like useless. So a person does at one point think of giving up, but obviously you can't give up. This is what you do for a living, you understand? And if you go to a department, like Ronald was saying, if you go to the department and then you come up with a proposal, the first thing they're going to ask you is, okay, you're doing IT. Are you on a contract? Are you on the transversal contract? No, I'm not. Okay, I can't do business with you. Just like that. You don't discuss it. It's given,
Yes,
so
sir.
you try your level best to try to do business either with a private sector, or immediately when they said transversal is compliant, you walk away. You don't even discuss it even further. That's what I personally experienced. You understand? And then I don't know about other people that maybe have a better solution to this whole nonsense. The CETA ish. Forgive me for
Transversal. Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that CETA has failed SMMEs when it comes to this transversal contract, and something needs to be done about it to ensure that there is more inclusion to the disenfranchised SMMEs, and obviously that warrant more discussion and more platform. And we heard you in Tate Kotani, and I think it's a call to all and everyone who are SMEs within the country, who are who cares about the movement itself, to ensure that we come together, we share a common understanding, and yeah. it's
Before
very
you-
interesting as well.
Let me tell you something before you leave now, concerning CETA again. Every time
Yes,
you
sir.
apply for a contract, man, they want you, since they want to say, okay, submission is Pongola, Pretoria. Ne?
Yes,
You
sir.
go to different things, you tell them, really, I want to submit this. These people will not take your documents and everything, because they will tell you, you can see for you're supposed to upload to submit at Pongola. Sometimes when the information you get, I know you must prepare in advance, but sometimes you get information maybe a day or two before the deadline. The time you courier the things, it costs money. You understand? So that alone on its own, it's a problem. It's a challenge. Because if I have 2 hours to prepare, I mean, if I had 2 hours to submit, and I'm coming from the location to CETA, and I struggle with transport, and I struggle with this, and I struggle with that. Another thing I have to worry about, okay, these documents, they have to go to Pretoria. You see, that again, it's a story. It will be nice if the deadline is, if they say Pongola, you can also submit at Bloemfontein offices. It will be nice that way, you know? Like they used to, I don't know what happened to them. They used to do that in the past.
Maybe the change of leadership is a problem. Dr. Kotane, thank you so much for sharing the problems that you have. Go Free State, go Free Stata, Manning, Mangaung. The time is 6:40 at the moment, and thank you for those who are tuned in live, listening to the progress and the status of the SMMEs, youth, and the professionals in the ICT industry in this country. We are in conversation with the provincial secretaries of PBICT, where they're unpacking, the current status of provinces when it comes to ICT and the situation in their respective provinces. And we still encourage you to participate, in the discussion as well in our YouTube channel. Just be in touch and let's keep the conversation going. But we are done talking. We need more action. So we're gonna go all the way to Northern Cape. The provincial secretary, actually the deputy provincial secretary, it's Uhentse Toto. Northern Cape is that side. Those who don't know Northern Cape, if you know Kimberley, then that's where that province is. And it's famous for its diamond, Kimberley diamond, and all those things. But we want to know the other challenges. The other challenges that the SMMEs, especially during COVID-19, Retoto. We know that a lot of things have stopped. There's no opportunities, not like there were before, but I'm sure the situation is worse now. What are your members saying at the moment, and are there opportunities? What are the problems, and what can we do? Retoto, speak to your members. Uhenze. Yes, we can hear you, Uhenze. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
No,
Go
just that
ahead.
the sign doesn't go unmuted.
No, go ahead. We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Hey, thanks, SG, and the audience at large. The issue on the NC, it's I don't know if it's a bigger or catastrophic problem. Just like I gave the feedback the last time, and there was a feedback that there will be an arrangement for the NEC to come down to try and resolve the problem or challenges we're facing.
Let's keep the problems to more of your SMMEs, your members, what they're experiencing. The internal problems, we'll discuss them in other platforms. So, you are an SMME, you are a professional, you are youth. Share those issues that your members are always share with you, and let's talk more about that.
Okay. We're talking to that. The more of the problems is the penetration to leaders, the powers that be, for our SMEs to grow. As an SME,
Okay.
what I found out also is the issue of getting to the clients, especially local. I think most of the environment in GTG are more politicized. I don't know, they heavy politicized, and the penetration in terms of getting business is a big challenge.
Mhm.
So the other problem is the I don't know if it's, how can I put it, the trust with the previous penetration, like power of existing service providers with with potential clients. So the opportunities don't seems to be coming right in that space.
Mm.
Yes, I couldn't hear a lot of what was said because of my connectivity. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that I can
I guess Northern Cape do have challenges like that. The challenges of infrastructure when it comes to connectivity, especially now. We need to talk to one another using online platforms.
Yes,
And if you
yes.
don't have the correct infrastructure, so that's actually an opportunity for your members in Northern Cape to ensure that they target those kind of challenges. And as I've said, comrades, even in our previous platforms, problems are opportunities. So our community challenges, our community problems are opportunities to us as innovators, as as people who are entrepreneurs, even in the space. So sometimes it's easy, it's nice for us actually to identify those challenges so that we can create opportunities. Thank you, Ntate Toto, for sharing the experience in the Northern Cape. And as you can see, PBICT can reach everywhere. It can reach in KwaZulu Natal, it can reach in Gauteng, it can reach even in Northern Cape, where people normally just see it when they pass on their way to Cape Town. And and most people they don't go in, they just pass on their way out. I want us to go back to Limpopo. We had connectivity issues. I hope the connectivity issues are sorted now. Comrade Zumbu, are you sorted with your connectivity? Are you able to talk to your members of in Limpopo? I know that Limpopo Economic Development have been doing some things in Limpopo, and they even confirmed that there is more than 500 million budget for broadband infrastructure in Limpopo to ensure that they connect the people of Limpopo when it comes to the internet and all those sort of things. What are the things that PBICT, that site, is doing to ensure that they bridge the gap and ensure that entrepreneurs participate in the space? And what are the other problems in Limpopo? Zumbu. It looks like Limpopo it's experiencing problems again. Okay, so I'm from Limpopo anyway, so I'm gonna try just to speak on his behalf and summarize to see what I've seen when I was that side is that the challenges that are currently there, which can be converted into opportunities, are exactly that of infrastructure, connectivity, broadband. So the SMEs of Limpopo need to ensure that they tackle those kind of challenges and engage with the Limpopo economic development. Those are the things that PBICT also need to play a role and bridge that gap. As far as in unemployment, which affects the entire country anyway, Limpopo it's not special to that as well. So that high unemployment that has been created even during the COVID or the pandemic, it has risen to the highest at the moment, and private sector. All these other stakeholders, public sector, the form of government, whether state-owned entities, they need to open those opportunities that are available for SMMEs. And innovation needs to come into play. With all these challenges, surely there is an opportunity for innovators to come with new ways of doing things, to come and identify opportunities that are available with the challenges that we're experiencing. So that's one thing that Limpopo need to start doing, to ensure that they bridge that gap, of unemployment, of access to opportunities, etc. So again, we're still thanking you for tuning in to this, live session in discussion with PBICT leaders across provinces. This is your time, to see, what they're currently doing. So we're gonna take questions from members, in the platform, ordinary members, and even those who have joined in here that they've been invited to ask questions as well. The Deputy President of PBICT is here. She'll also say something and in the closing. Comrade Ronald, and I'm open for questions, so I'm going to take a question each and every ordinary member who is here. Comrade Ronald, question, and who do you direct a question to?
Thanks, Comrade Chair. Hopefully you can hear me on your side.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so this one is not a question, it's more of a statement. As I mentioned earlier, that group that we created to deal with this RFB 740.
The CETA one.
Part of that, yeah, the CETA one. As part of that, we had elected a group of people to actually lead the group. These were the ones basically who were attending all the meetings and stuff like that. And the main guy that was chairing the group, his name is Ntando Ngwenya. He's passed away, I think it's about 3 or 4 days ago now. He contracted COVID, I think I think on the 20th of June. And I'm not sure if also it was part of the many running arounds that he was doing as part of dealing with this particular issue. But
just the family, yeah.
He's no more now, which is quite sad, because he was really doing good work just for us to try and get CETA to account on their side. And the very same group that we were trying to lobby to figure out exactly how to get the lawyers and all the stuff, at the same time now we also find ourselves where we are raising funds to actually bury Ntando himself. So it's quite a very sad situation that we find ourselves in, I guess, also in terms of black SMEs, that you have institutions like CETA who are stifling growth. I'm sure there was a good intention to create CETA, but now it's it's an enemy of progress, because like the comrade said from the Free State, that even if you are creative, you can offer a solution that you can put together. But for the mere fact that you don't appear on the transversal contract, these departments will not be able to engage with you, which is it's a very sad state of affairs. And, and the one thing I will caution for everyone is be careful about everyone who talks about entrepreneurship. You must go out there and do all of this stuff. When that person who's saying that has a full salary, has a job, has never created a company in their own life, in their in their entire existence, they don't know the terrain that you guys have to walk. You can't take them serious. So when a government official comes and says we need to, black SMEs must go to this, don't listen to them. Like, it's a comrade as you said something the other day, that we need to start looking away from government. Like, we need to look at other options, because it feels like we have a foreign government that's basically governing us, because they're not opening opportunities for us. No, it's a sad state of affairs. Like I said, we have young people who are sitting at home who are idling. I don't know if you saw, there was a video sometime last year when they said there was this Chisanyama in Cape Town that advertised, I think there were 5 posts at a Chisanyama. And then I don't know if you saw the queue, there were thousands of young people queuing up for that particular job. That's a sad state of affair, and it's happening everywhere. And the sad part about this is that, like, energy, like, if you look at science, you can't create it, you can't destroy it, you can transfer it, you can transform it. Now with all these young people who are idling around, what do you think they're doing with all this energy?
Oof.
Because it's not being transformed to something that can transform the country itself. So literally,
Yeah.
we like the very government that we've put into power is actually working against us. Like, you know, it's a very sad state of affairs. So yeah,
Very
it's
sad.
paining for me.
Very sad, Comrade
And,
Ronald. Very sad.
yeah. And then also, just to add one more thing towards the Limpopo thing that we're trying to get an update on. You guys mentioned that there's about 500 million that's been put aside towards broadband. Who do you think is going to be playing in that space? It's not going to be young people. So it's not going to be black SMEs, because transversals are going to kick in again. So it's always the old guard. It's always the same companies which you find everywhere in the country, owned by, I don't know, I guess some politicians are benefiting from it, because these are the guys who are basically holding everyone not to actually go into business. So yeah, thanks Jeff, for the opportunity.
Yeah, we should definitely keep an eye on that, and you know, we'll be very close to it. So Limpopo must know that you know, the SMMEs in that province need to benefit from that. You know, there's no way, and it's a sad situation, you know, that you have painted when it comes to CETA and the state capacity in terms of the people that they are deploying to ensure transformation that is not happening. And we can't keep talking about the same thing every year in, year out. You know, when there's progress, someone just comes and dismantled it all. So yes, I agree with you. And I think somewhere, somehow, in the highest echelon of the leadership of this country, it needs to be looked at. The Deputy Secretary has his hands up, but before I recognize him, can I ask Tumisang, he's an ordinary member, Matlawe, just to you know, to ask a question as well to the panelists and to the you know, to the leaders who are here. Tumisang.
Good evening, leaders.
Yes, sir.
The question that I'm having, Nopala, it's actually directed to the NEC,
yes,
as
sir.
well as the PECs. As much as we understand and we have acknowledged that CETA has not been playing its part to the development of youth, as much as they portray themselves as that they help youth SMMEs or something. We as SMMEs and as an organization, what is the NEC helping the young and developing business owners that will actually start talking? Because right now the challenge is that I'm actually looking at why we as entrepreneurs are failing is that technically we are good, but the commercial point of view, nobody's actually looking at it. As a NEC, how can you help us as members of the PBICT to actually grow the commercial aspect of the business?
Yeah,
I think
good question. I've noted your question. Let's go to Falitenjwa Cole. You know, to also ask his question. Is one of the ordinary members, SMMEs in this country. Falitenjwa, you can unmute and ask your question or comment.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, sir. You're on mute. Falitenjwa, you're on mute. Okay, we'll come back to you, sir, once you sorted your technology problems at the moment. Deputy Secretary General Dennis Rawls.
Sebonga Nopala. Nopala, there's a question here from Upol Fako on YouTube, currently streaming. His question is as follows.
Yes.
Can PBICT as an organization not take this up the leadership of the ruling party? Because CETA will be the end of many SMMEs. Thank you.
That's so we have two questions from Tumisang and Paul Faku. Falitenjwa is your... Yes, go ahead. Yes, we can
Yeah,
now.
okay. It's Tata calling, eh?
Oh, okay. Okay, Tata.
Yeah, no, I think
Ask your
I
question,
wanted to.
comment.
Yeah, it's more of a one. It's a question, and another one. It's a question to all of us in the provinces and the NEC. I think the question that I wanted to ask in terms of the SETA problem. Clearly, we have issues with SETA the whole country. So I just wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
ask the NEC. Remember, 2 years back we had commissions that were assigned to sit, and if I recall properly, we had PBICT members who were part of those commissions, and I know that those commissions were purely to support the SMEs. So I just wanted to ask the NEC what happened to those commissions. I know SG we spoke about them, but then I think maybe that answer, maybe you can just answer it in the whole of this session, so that we all of us understand and what happened to those commissions. And another question is, or rather maybe a comment. I haven't heard a lot of us talking about the professionals. I think most speakers spoke about the SMMEs, and I know the founding principles of PBICT. We for the students, SMMEs, and the professionals. So
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to indulge and maybe have a little conversation in terms of how does PBICT support the professionals. I know for Gauteng, for instance, with the program that we had this week. We had Microsoft in a sense of they were supporting the members in terms of enrolling into Microsoft certification, and for that, obviously, it will assist them in their professional workings, and obviously, again, it can assist them with upgrading their company. So I just wanted to also have to consider the professionals in this hard times that we are at in terms of this COVID. People are losing jobs. How can we support the professionals in these times? Thank you, SG.
Thank you, Tata Kole. So this is the first round of questions. So we'll take the second round, and then we'll allow the Deputy President to say a few words, and then we can close. Again, it's 7:01, and I still like to thank everyone who's watching across the country, those concerned people, whether you are an SMME, whether you're youth, or whether you're a professional yourself, in your own corner, you're an entrepreneur, and you have your own challenges. Let's talk now. But after this conversation, we're done talking. We're gonna start doing a lot. We're gonna start implementing. If you have an idea, we're gonna start implementing all those sort of things. So maybe just go back to the questions that have been asked, and I'll try my best for the questions. If I have answer, I'll answer, and then if I don't have an answer, the panelists, the provincial secretaries will also answer. When it comes to a question from Paul Faku about the SETA, role, and if they're gonna end SMMEs, and I mean, and that speaks to the same question that Tata was asking about SETA committees that were established, for SMMEs, within SETA to ensure that there's transformation in the organization itself. So I don't have that kind of an opinion, and I wouldn't hope that SETA is going to destroy SMMEs. It's supposed to build and enhance SMMEs, give them leg up. But I'm glad that members who have grouped themselves in Gauteng take on SETA the same way we do take on SETA. In terms of the way SMEs are not being fairly treated in some of the transversals. However, obviously, we would like to see the sound leadership within the organization itself. We know that from the reports that we see on the media that SETA is currently redefining itself. There is this new people or administrators that are running SETA to ensure that they take it to some normality of some sort. But you cannot do that. You cannot go forward while you're excluding SMMEs. It's a recipe for disaster. And we urge the leadership of CETA to take that into consideration and avoid unnecessary self-sabotage, because even the president of this country has said that SMMEs are the future of this country. So you cannot have a formal announcement that you have redefined CETA without a strategy for SMMEs. And Paul, I feel your pain. I understand. And myself as a leader of this movement, it's something that we have discussion with. We had discussion with in terms of how do we move forward? How do we ensure that we hold CETA accountable? The committee that you're talking about that has been disbanded within CETA, the transformation unit, it was called Industry Transformation Unit. New administrators dismantled that committee for their own reasons. I don't know if it was selfish reasons or like I said, self-sabotage. So what that unit used to do was to engage CETA internally to ensure that issues like transversals are looked into properly and there's no unjust when it comes to SMMEs. And since that unit has been dismantled, meaning that there's no communication between SMMEs and industries, which are stakeholders like your ICT chamber, your BITF, PBICT, Black Business Council, to engage CETA internally and transform CETA internally. So those kind of committees has been dismantled. Like I said, it's either maybe it's a self-sabotage or for whatever reasons that we don't know of. They must issue a report in terms of why. And I think soon the movement need to act decisively against that. Question from Tumisang about what the NEC role is in terms of assisting SMEs, especially with issues like this, where they are endlessly taking on government for unjust processes that are just sidelining them, excluding them, not care about them. The little guy that Gauteng was talking about. So there's a couple of programs that the NEC of PBICT has been doing, obviously. And as I said, even in our last engagement, that there will be a stage where we are forgetting about government assistance and we are doing everything on our own, and we are accepting that you are on your own, so you can't rely on government anymore. You need to go out there. But obviously, the movement has established cooperatives across all the provinces. Those active provinces, they have cooperatives, and I'm told that there's also, those cooperatives, they are the go-to market in terms of how to access opportunities within respective provinces. So those are the other measures that the movement has taken to ensure that we are not excluded. There's also programs of skills development, boot camps that the movement has taken in the past, and even in the future there are planned programs like that to ensure that people are equipped with knowledge, with skills, so that they can take on these opportunities. So be ready for these opportunities when we tackle them. The more skilled we are, and the more of us, and collaboration as well. PBICT is a platform itself full of professionals, youth, and SMMEs across provinces. So that should enable that collaboration that we seek, within our different, because we are diverse in our skills, we are diverse in our knowledge, etc. So I think that should do. If I didn't answer it correctly, is there anyone in the panel within respective provinces who'd like to add more or comment or subtract? I see Bennett Mufamere. Bennett. Rep Bennett, your hand was up. Okay. Bennett is probably having connection issues, which is something that is becoming normal these days. Fana, Ronald, I see your hand is up.
Thanks, Chair. Can you see me? Or can you hear me?
Yes. Well, we can hear you. That's the most important thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add regarding the various boot camps that the organization holds every now and then. There was one we had about, I think it was 2 years ago.
Yes, sir.
The one about networking, and interesting enough, it was hosted at CETA here
Yes.
in.
Those are the time when the poor relationship.
Yeah. So, like, one thing to note about that bootcamp, I attended myself without much knowledge about the telecommunication space, how it actually works. But I'm glad to say that as part of me being able to attend that bootcamp,
Yes, sir.
we are busy now setting up my internet company. The first site is here in Oliven. I don't know if you can see behind me. I have some stuff that I've now bought. The radios for the Wi-Fi.
Yes, you can see boxes there. Yes, you're working, sir. That's good. That's good.
These are some of the devices we've now bought.
Wow.
To connect. But this all started with the bootcamp. Just by attending that bootcamp, you started seeing what's possible. And then, your imagination just got excited. And then, like I said, now we're busy deploying. And so those things are very important, and we need more of them. We need to be able to do those initiatives, because I think, the stuff that we're complaining about right now, it has a lot to do with government, but there's quite a lot you can do outside of government.
Yes,
for example, running the boot camps. Let's use the skills that we have. Let's actually start businesses that can actually affect people and change people's lives for the better. And I think, we know what we don't have. Let's look at what we have and use what we have. I think if government decides to catch us up, they will find us on the way. Thanks.
Wow, it's good. That's a good testimonial, to hear that one of the boot camps that we held. I know that President was leading that boot camp. He called me and say, "No, Pala, let's do this." And I'm glad that and it's not just you. I've had positive response from a lot of members, and who have benefited from such boot camps. And this is inspiring, as an organization, and it inspires us to do more. So let's take a last round of questions. And then before we can allow the Deputy President to, so I have Andile Aluta Gumbi Le KwaZulu Natal. Andile.
Yes, Chair.
Baba.
Sanibonani nonke. NgiKwaZulu
Sawubona,
Natal. On my side, I always think that the PBICT leave behind the film and television sector, because I believe the ICT sector also includes the television and film sector. So, and I've noticed that several times, or many times, that we tend to ignore that department. And as I'm sitting here now, I'm thinking that is it not possible maybe to even create a TV channel for PBICT and open more platform for SMEs to get access in a lot of information that we are discussing right now. So I think that's it.
Siyabonga Andile wase-KwaZulu Natal. Good comment there, and I'm sure our panelists will also address that. Film and television, it's sort of taking a back seat at the moment. That's what Andile is commenting on, and I know that the Deputy Secretary General is in that space. He's been leading SMME's committee of that graphics and the members who are participating in that space as well, because he's a specialist there. So that will be addressed.
All right.
Tumisang Matlawe and Bennett Mufamere.
Evening again, leaders.
Yes, sir.
The question that I'm going to be raising, I'm going to actually be directing it to all the the PSGs. The communication of the main organization. Are you guys happy with the performance of members, or does members take this thing as are we being opportunists, whereby if ever I'm just a member, whenever there's an opportunity, that's when I appear, or I become a fully member and be committed to the PBICT as an organization? Because if you can look at the YouTube channel, the rate that the amount of people that we have online and the amount of people that we have within the organization, it actually doesn't match up. So I need to understand, as the PECs of the whole country, we cannot even reach a maximum of almost 3/4 of all the members within the whole nation. What does that say to us? Are we actually going back, or are we moving forward? Or are we looking at who we know or who we don't know within the organization? Youth, as the GP secretary said, that the high unemployment is going up. We need to say to ourselves as PBICT, let's hold on to SETA, give it to the relevant people within the organization to run with it. As an organization, let's sit down and see how we as an organization can come up with a plan to help the unemployment rate to drop. Obviously, we are not going to be progressive in 1 or 2 years, but we need them to actually play a role. There are people that can actually be of our assistances. We've got student desks. We've got everything that we have that can actually conquer the whole country. But are we taking it at our advantage or not? Because right now, our PS actually said there's a boot. He actually managed to be progressive from a boot camp. What's stopping us from making boot camps online? What's stopping us to have AGMs online so that more members can actually be aware of the culture of PBICT? We are in the ICT sector, but it's like we are in another world. Our boot camps take 3 years to come. Nobody has to come to us and say that, guys, can we do a boot camp? Let's do an online boot camp so that we can actually progress as a movement.
Yes, sir. No, thank you so much to Misang. I'm sure they've noted that question. I've also noted it. Bennett Mufamere. Bennett, can you hear us? Okay. Bennett, technology is failing him. Let's go all the way to Mpumalanga, and let's just engage in Mpumalanga with Bank Emalahleni laphana. And if there's a comment, a question from their PS, welcome Magagula. Welcome. You're welcome, Baba. Okay, it looks like the network is also failing him. But just to go back to those questions that have been asked, regarding film and television, communication challenges that we have, anyone from the panel would like to answer?
No, Paul. May I please
Yes,
answer the issue of the television and video production?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Lela Comrade that asked the question, thank you very much. That's a subject matter that hasn't been ignored, Nopala, unfortunately. But however, because it blends with the creative, it blends in the creative space, it tends to run away now and again. Because sometimes people are seen as creatives, but at the same time, when you're in the television industry, you're still a technologist. I'll give an example quickly, like myself. I wasn't live streaming until last year. Last year, I went onto YouTube. I did my 10,000 hours of watching YouTube videos about live streaming, all the different avenues. I was lucky enough to have access to a camera or two, and I started doing it. So we're totally not ignoring it. There is a group that exists. It's not at capacity as yet. It deals with opportunities in that particular space. So what we'll do is we'll just do another round of putting the link to that group, because there are opportunities posted there weekly. If there's anyone in that group can attest. Myself, because I'm in that industry, wherever I aggregate information from, I share that information. And I also encourage other comrades, Uti, now before when they find opportunities, they just share them. It doesn't matter, you know. There's lots of opportunities for freelancers who want to be in production, video editors, art directors, this whole entire ecosystem. It exists, so it's there. With regards to PBICT TV, we have a YouTube channel. So every member who wants to run a program, like there's a comrade who's doing a program on Poppy Act, Comrade Good Enough. It's set and it's done, it's cast in stone. 10 o'clock Saturday, it's going to happen. Comrades must come forward if you have expertise, knowledge to share, and you want to share these type of things. That is PBICT TV, is opportunity alignment. If you know of a place or platform where there's opportunities, align. And we will then, the platform is there. We have the technology. We're working on refining our digital strategy. It's our first time using Jitsi, which is a free platform. But here we are, we're using it and we're utilizing it. We're using OBS right now to stream to YouTube. We're utilizing it. So we also as an organization are using that. But with regards to the television opportunities, it's very important that comrades must please, if you're interested, join the link. If you don't have the link, ask unobhala wako in the province. Say, hey, I heard there's a group that has television and graphics and content. I'd like to be part of it. We've shared contacts of people in Elokos. We've shared contacts for people at Telkom One. We've shared contacts for people at Netflix. We've shared contacts and links for how to get your stuff on those streaming platforms. So if there's enough also comrades who are interested and have productions and we want to organize ourselves, it's something we can do. Me and myself, I can put myself forward and engage with other comrades who are even outside of PBICT and within the sector to find out who do we knock the door at, which are the commissioning editors that we can speak to, from Mzansi Magic all the way to SABC and ETV. But we need to be able to have the will and want to organize ourselves so that we have a formation to say, this is how many we are, this is the skills we have, and this is what we want out of this thing. It must be a very clear thing. Tina, as our leaders, we need to just go and knock the door. Whether we get bruised, we get hit with hammers, we get hit with itwepu, we get hit with all type of rejections and those type of things, it will be our job to continue knocking on the door. So I'm a comrade that are interested in that particular space. There is a group there. Let's have more engagement, post opportunities, but also say what we want. So let's have that unison voice so that when we go represent, we're representing members. I can't go in represent and say I'm representing PBICT. I need to say that there are 15 production companies that I'm representing. These are their names and this is what they're ready to do. So what opportunities can we align with us as PBICT? And wherever we need reinforcement, Bakono president, Bakono chairperson, that we can speak to and say, hey, I need reinforcement here, comrade. Can we please go to this office here and engage with this comrade? There is a Gauteng Film, there's the Gauteng Film Commission, there's the KZN, there's the film office, even in Durban, and wherever there's different film offices or whatever. If someone needs for us to go there and to knock and to get information and build relationships, the members must be the ones saying, because we can go find all opportunities, post 100 opportunities a day, But if comrades are not aligned and not ready to take the opportunities and run with them, that's the important thing. We engaged ETIA last year, and we were told them, even in the platform, when comrade Dube Ncube, while she was the MEC, she and her team made it possible for PBICT to host the technology entire 2-week of dialogue and information sharing. If you go to the PBICT YouTube, there is so much information there. There's in terms of being PBICT TV. So these type of things are there, and we were very clear with them also. One, when we were talking about government availability and helping us, CT also, as those who are in the television space and the video production space and the advertising space, that government can be the biggest advertisers. Government needs to prioritize black companies through GCIS to ensure that any useful government projects of all their organs that are involved in the departments or whatever, wherever there's ads, they need to be able to run radio and television ads and be able to create panels and RFQs and tenders that need to come out and to look for these black organizations that are ready to go. There's many of them who have cameras, who can do PR, who can write radio ads and produce and get voiceovers done. We're there, there's plenty of us. But government needs to prioritize the advertising and ensure that advertising, the beneficiaries of that service there is black organizations. And it needs to be clear that it's for us, because in the advertising agency, representation of black people as an old industry isn't there. It's very tough. There's maybe a handful of black-owned agencies that are purely black-owned and not by BEE tricks. So these sectors are all ripe and ready. SABC is just a matter of aligning with the comrades who want a specific opportunity. We can get together and align for what we need to, and we can go there to commissioning editors and so forth and approach them. They're all approachable. These are all human beings, and whatever we need, we can organize it.
Oh, DSG, that was very informative. And I like the idea that you're putting to our members that this platform can be used to, if someone wants to showcase their innovation, their talent, they can come to the Secretariat office so that their innovation is shown out there to their people. They might find their customers out there in the social media platform, and this channel, that's what is it for. Thank you so much, DSG. Time is not on our side. It's 7:26. We're supposed to be finished here 7:30. So welcome, Makakula. Just 1 minute, Mpeto. I know Emalahleni, there's a lot of coal, there's a lot of all those things. There's some drone acceleration programs that SEDA is doing. What else is happening there? Just in 60 seconds, just tell us if you have any comment, and then what are the plans for your province and opportunities for members in Emalahleni, that side of Mpumalanga. Welcome. Unopala was Mpumalanga. Your mic, you're muted. Comrade, welcome. You're muted. Just unmute yourself so that you can talk. Okay. So people of Mpumalanga, welcome is not is having technical problems, but I've been told that there are programs that have been lined up, from SEDA. There's a drone acceleration program in Secunda as well. So reach out to your provincial secretary to ensure that you participate in that program, and on all these other ones that are available. So we're going to allow our deputy president to say a few words in 2 minutes, and then we close this interesting discussion, interesting update, and we'll do more of this. Comrade Deputy President Zine Nkukwana, the Deputy President of PBICT. Bogot.
Sanibonani, can you hear me? SG, can you hear me?
Yes, Mama, we can hear you, Deputy President.
All right, good evening, everyone. SG, you know that I'm not on the program. at all.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
It's one of those things that I like attending sessions like these, because I think I learn a lot from the people who are working, people who are really doing the work down there, emasebeni, if you know what I mean, right down there with the people.
Yeah,
Really
mama.
you have hijacked me to say something, and I just wanted to just to be one of the people abakhona la endlini, just listening to the people talking. But of course, I've heard quite a lot of things, which I think from any C level we need to be really pondering and see how do we assist out the people with the things that they have told us. Because I think I like the theme that you have today, of less talk in really doing the action. And I suppose you've known me for a while, that I've been telling you, I've been telling everyone who cares to listen, that I am so tired. I've done a lot of talking in my life. We've attended all sorts of things, from the GovTechs, from the ITUs, from everything I've had. My ears are full, and we really need to do something to assist our SMMEs out there. But one thing, and you know that I would not let this go. Every single person who has been speaking here has had a deep voice, meaning they've been men all along. And I know that my voice as well sounds very deep, but I'm very much a woman. So you mean to say in here, your provincial secretaries, you don't have a woman? I know Shaka is one of them. Maybe she hasn't attended today. You know, the issues of gender for me are very, you know, not that I have any problems when it comes to having, you know, our men comrades assisting us, but I also would like us to push and have our female comrades being, you know, being there in these positions. We can assist them if maybe they lack here and there. So you do need to look into your structure, and as far as where are your female provincial secretaries. Coming to everything that in here is quite interesting, and I've been listening to, was it Andile who mentioned something about the film and you know, in television, because I know they also form part and parcel of the ICT, and I liked Dennis the way that he was explaining. He actually gave me a lot of ideas as well, a lot of information that I also didn't know. You know, that we do have these things. So I'll be talking to him as well, in as far as you know, seeing where to from here, and also trying to assist some of the SMMEs that I know who are within that space. So I like having, you know, attending these meetings. I learned a lot from the Gauteng one the other day. There was an event in Gauteng with Microsoft. I attended that. At some stage, I also attended an event with the Limpopo branch or province. So I like you provincial secretaries, please do feel free to attend. I just like to come and listen. Maybe there's something that I will get in as far as learning from you, or maybe I can also be able to assist here and there on some of the things that you have in as far as, you know, the networks that I've made in my life, being in this sector. So with those words, thank you so much, Comrade SG, for having invited me, even though, of course, I would not be on video at all, because I'm sitting at home. I didn't know that I was going to be talking. Next time, when I'm looking a little better than I do now, I would be on the video. But thank you so much. This has been quite informative, and we do need to have this. There was a question before I go. There was a question, I think it was coming from, was it Tumisang? You know, I noted that every time I see our WhatsApp groups, you know, there are hundreds of people in there. But right now, we are having this session, and you've advertised it everywhere, but we hardly are 20. Starting from the people, I'm both on YouTube, I'm looking at YouTube and here. So he asked a very valid question. Are we really here committed to do what we say we want to do, or we just want to? Let me say it in this course. But we really do need to look into those things. Who is really committed and having, you know, their hearts into what PPICT is all about, or just being there in those WhatsApp groups to get opportunities, marabengeko committed into what PPICT is all about. Those words, thank you so much, colleagues. Good luck with everything and keep up the good work. Diabulela.
Siyabonga, Deputy President of the the movement of PBICT, Zine Nkukwana, those of you who don't know. And that's actually a good point there that you are raising. That's a good point that you are raising there, Mama. When it comes to participation, and I hope that the provincial secretaries are listening and they have heard the concern of the members in terms of communication, in terms of opportunities, messages, all that. So it's not just the deputy president who's concerned, but also the members are. So let's grow this movement. This thing of just sitting and not do things doesn't work anymore. And if we're gonna go forward to ensure that we build a solid oil machine, we need a strong secretariat office. This is a secretariat office. This is the engine of this movement, comrade. If you're not, oiled, we'll fail. So I hope we are encouraged. We'll be having these sessions, maybe quarterly or so, to communicate with our members. This is a family meeting that we'll be having probably maybe every quarter. And I hope the president can join us in the next meeting as well, but this is our platform. This is the secretariat platform to come. So it means that allow our members to be tuned in and caught live. So the onus is on you. And if you can't inspire your members to join, then who are you talking to? So thank you very much for taking your time. You could have been doing something else, but thank you very much for taking your time and join us live while we discuss, the challenges of this country, and then coming up with solution to resolve the challenges of this country as far as ICT is concerned. And also those who have asked questions, those who have tuned in live, we don't take you for granted. I'm your Secretary General of PBICT. And in that manner, I'll say good night to every one of you, and be safe, sanitize. Let's just hibernate until we are all ready to go out there. Thank you very much, Deputy Secretary General, for allowing us to go live. Thank you.